you have a good arpeggio exercise that you can present to the viewers that they could,
Sure.
that they could do
Sure.
right anything.
So I think first, again, it's funny. I tend to go to like music theory because I am a music theory nerd, which I always tell people, by the way, it's always, the grass is always greener. All right. Because on the side of people that are like, man, I don't know that much theory. I don't know if I should play guitar. I'm like afraid that I'm supposed to know all this theory. I'm jealous of that. Like, as a theory person, I'm jealous that you are not influenced as much as I am musically by music theory. So when I talk about this stuff, it's going to sound very theory-like. We'll make it practical. But I want you to know that Bach made all the theory rules, all right? But he also broke all the theory rules, all right? He broke them all. They're meant to be broken. I mean, when you're talking like bluesy stuff, act like that's a proper scale. That is not a proper scale at all. It's a chromatic. Like, yeah, it's not proper, but it sounds friggin' great. So there are these things that are like structured, and they're meant to be a bit broken at times. So if I talk to theory, I'll try my best. And also, one funny story, I had a lesson with a professional guitarist years ago that is signed. I went to a show, went backstage, had a lesson with him, and he was teaching me some things. And I remember being like, man, that seems like that's a pentatonic. It seems like he kind of went into a little Dorian there, maybe a little Phrygian at the end. Is that what you're doing? And he looked at me and he was like, I don't know. I have no idea what you're doing. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what those words mean. And that was like a big moment of, all right. So some of the best players out there don't know a thing like about theory at all. It's so funny. So I'd say arpeggios, the first go-to is sevenths for sure. So arpeggio in its sense is just the chord, right? The breakdown of a chord just individually picked. So when we think about chords, we start thinking about like an A minor. We know our A minor, right? We all know that it's over here. But an A minor is actually just taking the A minor scale, which is no sharps or flats. So it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats, right? So it just keeps going. It's only 7 notes, and then it repeats. But we assign numbers to all of those. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And just like all the notes continue to go, so it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The numbers just continue growing. So we go from like 7 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And a lot of those complex chords, like 7 chords, are all literally just taking a 1, a 3, a 5, which is a basic chord, and then adding the 7th note, the number of the note that just adds. And it's that simple. So 7th chords, I think a lot of y'all's people are into, and it's a really good quality, really good tone. So basically, if you want to do a combination of arpeggios, if you want to sweep them, you could sweep them. I highly recommend doing both. I highly recommend alternate picking your arpeggios and then trying to sweep them if you want to get into sweep as well. But I definitely think both are necessary. So if you listen, so I would say those movements are going to be the easiest ones to start to take on. So A string, 5th fret, and then we go to the 8th fret, and then we go to the D string, the 7th fret, and then we end up moving down to the G on that 5th fret, and you keep it going to the 6th fret of that B, and then you do the 5th fret of the E, 8th fret, and you do it in reverse. So altogether, it's and that's just a basic. That would technically be your D minor 7 arpeggio. So there's our D minor chord, right? And you could see that those notes are in there, and we broke them up. We just added this little extra note. So we're just hitting those. And then you could keep moving that up. As long as you know your scales, you can understand, okay, I skipped a note there. I hit that note. Okay, where do I shift that up? And then we're back. So I would say those are probably the easiest arpeggios. Some people out there do tap arpeggios up here and they're hitting other notes down here at the same time. But if you want to start somewhere very easy to start understanding some arpeggios, and even simpler is knowing that like this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even this is an arpeggio. So I'm just going 5th fret, 8th fret, and then that 7th fret of the D string. That's technically an arpeggio. So it's just 1, 3, 5, and then you could add some other fun notes in there and kind of go from there. But I'd say those are the good ones, the 7s.
Yeah, that's super easy to understand. I can say that when it comes to the theory stuff, I was like in choir and all that, and played show choir in high school, and I played drums actually, and then sang in the I was forced to sing in the choir. But I learned a little bit of theory there. Then I started touring, and then it's just like you just play the songs that you know, like you play the songs, right? You don't need to think about like what you're actually playing. Then when I came to Nashville, and you start doing like if you do any session work here or play it, play out with other bands or play at churches and stuff, they only speak in numbers. And like I was like, crap, I have to learn this Nashville numbering system. And to be completely honest, it opened up the entire fretboard to me. Just learning, speaking in numbers, because I can look at the fretboard and okay, what key we're playing in. Okay, here's all the numbers. I know exactly where they're laid out on the board. So it's actually, I would say, it's actually helped me understand theory a little bit better, knowing numbers instead of trying to memorize all the letters that are on the fretboard. I don't know if that's exactly
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, man, that's killer. The one thing I think I love about guitar more than anything is how easy it is. Once there's always this moment, it's funny, breakthrough guitar, right? It's like that breakthrough moment. There's always this moment with any guitarist that the moment is always different, but there's always a moment that's similar with guitarists that are starting to learn and really focusing on it, where it just clicks and something just snaps. For me, it was like, and you'll remember it forever, right? Which is, I remember my guitar teacher, Joel, just playing through like Canon in D, but he did it in C, right? So he's going, you know, so he's just playing through those chords. And I remember him just being like, play every mode in C major, like starting your Ionian on the C, and move every mode up to the next scale degree. And I remember it going, and starting to see like, oh my gosh, like that's all in the same key. That's in the right key signature.
Mm-hmm.
So realizing like it's all movable. That's what the beauty of the
Yeah.
guitar is. If you learn one pattern or one scale, you just move it. Like that's it. Like it just moves, it changes. Whereas somebody, I always compare it to like, guitar, I could go from like a C to a D, and it's just right there. But like a saxophone player is like, okay, good on you. Okay, this is like, yeah, C to
Exactly.
D. I get it. Yeah, it's fine. I got to shape my mouth now differently. But it's just one of those things that like it's laid out. It's almost laid out as perfectly as keyboard in that way. It's definitely very similar, where it's just right, left to right. You go through the notes that are available. So yeah, I think understanding that it's all movable, and once you understand like a 1, 4, 5 progression, you can use it anywhere. You just shift it around. It's great.
Yeah, that's really good. Awesome. I love it. And it actually makes it easier to go from one string instrument to another string instrument, or to like actually piano has opened up, just because it's laid out. It's almost laid out exactly the same if you think about it. They're just frets and there's keys, and so
Yep.
yeah. I remember I picked up family reunion. We picked up, some guys brought a bunch of ukuleles and stuff, and they were just jamming. And I'm like, okay, I can figure this out. Hold on, okay, this is the root note, and that's how. And I was able to like solo on a ukulele. I was trying to figure out chords, but I was able to like do some solos and stuff, just because I understand how music works now. I know I can know one. This is a number two. This is a three. It's just yeah.
Yeah, unless you pick up a mandolin or a violin, then it's mind blowing because the strings are flipped. So like,
Yeah.
well, that's where it gets confusing. Yeah.
The thing about ukulele is that there's like there's a high string on the top and the bottom, and the two in the middle are lower strings, and that was so I stayed away from that one. Actually, I might did I down tune it? No, I didn't down tune it. I wanted to, but I wasn't gonna screw up his ukulele.
That's so funny.
Hey, thanks so much for watching that video. That was just a short clip of one of our longer Q&A videos. If you're interested in watching some more of those videos, then I recommend you hit the subscribe button over here. It's really awesome. Also, we got more videos over here, so check some out if you're interested in learning more about breakthrough guitar or advancing your guitar skills. Peace.